Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm wanting to start doing some more turning on my lathe. I haven't used it in a while and I'm kind of getting the bug again to turn some stuff on the lathe. But I'm kind of disappointed with my lack of organization out there around my lathe. As you can see from these pictures, I don't really have a really good method of storing my lathe tools and things like the live centers, the Jacob chuck, the spur drives, and that kind of thing. So I'm going to try to come up with a better storage solution for those things. And I found this old piece of plywood out here. It's approximately 2 foot by 4 foot, and I've drawn up a little plan of something that I think is going to work out pretty good. And even though this plywood, I'm actually going to call this the good side. You can see it's pretty rough. It's actually got a couple of holes in it. But if I turn this around, you'll see why I call that side, the other side, the good side. This is pretty rough as well. But if I cut this right, put this to the bottom, you'd have to stand on your head to see it, so I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to get started on that project. And as you can see, I've been, the past few weeks, I've had the rotary axis set up here on my Gatton CNC. And if you want to check out any of those rotary axis projects I've done, I'll have the link to those videos down below. But to get started, I'm going to have to move this out of the way, and then we'll get going running my programs. Okay, I got the rotary axis out of the way. I got my workpiece clamped down up here. I've loaded the Gatton CNC machine profile in the Mach 3. Got the Z0 set, got my dust shoe on, so I'm all ready to start making some chips. So let's get to it. Right after I started this up, I noticed that it looked like my dust collection wasn't working well, and it took me a minute to figure out what was going on. Then I realized, if you can't see it in this camera shot, but directly above to where the hose goes straight up, there's a blast gate up there that I had closed, so I had to shut the camera off and grab my broom handle and tap that blast gate open, and then the dust collection would work a lot better. Duh. Man, oh man, I remember now why, as I was watching this, I remember now why I haven't used this piece of plywood for anything. What crappy plywood. Of course, I am using an upcut bit, but I remember when I tried to run this, even cutting it with a table saw, it would splinter up real bad because it's this stupid oak veneer plywood from Lowe's, I think. So, yeah, I see now why I was just using it as a table to stain and paint on, with a couple of sawhorses or something. But anyway, it should be okay for this project. I'll move this out of the way and get it all sanded down with the orbital sander. And if it looks too bad, I may be just throwing some paint on it. But I've got to cut all these parts out, and these 2 round circles, I need to flip those over and put some detailed stuff on the back side. I cut the parts out of the blank using my oscillating tool, and I thought I got video of that, but when I went to turn the camera off, it said no SD card, so I Forgot to put the SD card back in, but here I am knocking the tabs off with my flush trim bit on a router table. This piece is putting little tick marks to help line up the Lazy Susan hardware on the bottom circle. And here I am doing the underside of the top circle, and this will make all the raggedy veneer stuff peeling up, which will be on the underside, so hopefully it'll look halfway decent when I get done. Here I'm just doing a dry fit to make sure everything's going to fit properly before I put some glue on it. And I'm also doing a dry fit on the bracket that's going to hold the Lazy Susan part and mount to the side of my lathe table. And there I even screwed on the Lazy Susan hardware to make sure it lined up properly. Okay, it's time to get some glue on this thing, and I wasn't sure how I was going to clamp this gusset here. I did put that little triangle in the center where it would give me a place to clamp, but I'm just kind of eyeing this thing, centering it up by eye, and was just barely able to get the clamps on there to hold it, but it's not super critical. I think it'll be fine. And here on the top and the bottom, I had to put a pencil mark to make sure I didn't screw up and turn it the top and the bottom the wrong way, and then the little pockets and the holes wouldn't line up. So I glue in all these pegs here in the little pocket on the bottom section, and then I grab the top section and throw a little glue on that, and I make sure I get my pencil line lined up correctly. And even then I kind of second guess myself and turn it up on its side there to make sure that everything is still lining up, and put some weights on it, and we'll be done for the night. I didn't record this, but I thought I would put some dark stain. I'm using some Minwax dark walnut on here to try to cover up how bad the plywood is. So it's not going to look pretty, but it maybe make it a little less ugly. I let the stain dry overnight, and now it's time for a little assembly. Here I am putting on the Lazy Susan hardware onto the mounting bracket. And now it's time to attach the carousel itself to the Lazy Susan using the access hole that I put in the top of the mounting bracket there. It's kind of hard to get them lined up, because you can't really see what you're doing, especially since I decided to stain it dark. That was real smart. But you have to kind of do one screw and then spin it around until you hit one of the other 4 holes, and then just find where I pre-drilled the hole and tighten it down. And of course I've got 3 of them in, and on the last hole I was having trouble finding the hole there, and then of course the screw dropped out, and I had to go get my little magnetic tool so I could get the screw back out of there. And then I just decided to drive it in with the driver. So it's all good, it's all tight. Looks like it's going to work pretty good. So now it's time to take it out to the shop. And there it is, screwed to the side of my lathe table. And I've got all my tools put in there. They fit in there nice. And you can also see that I have, with this close up here, you can see that I have my Morse 2 taper, the live centers, and the Jacob's chuck and all that kind of stuff stuck down in the center. And the good thing is I've got 5 holes that are still empty for future new tools. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave it a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And I try to put out a new video every Saturday morning, so if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. And make sure you hit not only the subscribe button, but hit the little bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. But until that next time, thank you very much for watching.